If you've ever stared at a blank white wall in your first apartment and thought, I can't decorate this, I'll lose my deposit, you're not necessarily stuck with boring walls. There are plenty of renter-friendly upgrades that can transform your space without making permanent changes. But there are also a few things that look harmless and can cause problems if they're done incorrectly. So today, we're going through 10 low-risk upgrades for your first apartment, why they're generally renter-friendly, and how to approach them without creating an expensive problem when you move out. Quick disclaimer before we start. Every lease is different, and landlord-tenant laws vary depending on where you live. This isn't legal advice, and nothing here replaces reading your lease or checking your local rules. One important concept you'll hear about with rental properties is normal wear and tear. In many rental systems, ordinary deterioration from normal use is treated differently from damage caused by a tenant. Exactly where that line falls depends on your local law, your lease, and the condition of the property when you moved in. So the safest approach with every upgrade on this list is simple. Keep it reversible, follow the manufacturer's instructions, and check your lease before making changes that attach to the property. Let's get into it. 1. Peel and stick wallpaper. This is one of the most popular renter upgrades for a reason. It can completely change the mood of a room without committing to traditional wallpaper or painting. But peel and stick doesn't automatically mean risk-free. Choose a product specifically designed to be removable, and make sure it's suitable for your particular wall surface. Clean, smooth, fully cured walls are generally easier to work with than textured or freshly painted surfaces. And before covering an entire wall, test a small, inconspicuous area first. When it's time to remove it, go slowly and follow the manufacturer's instructions. Some products may respond well to gentle heat from a hairdryer, but don't assume every adhesive behaves the same way. The goal isn't just choosing removable wallpaper, it's making sure the product and the wall are actually compatible. 2. Wall decals for an accent wall. If full wallpaper feels like too much commitment, wall decals can give you a similar effect on a smaller scale. You could use them behind a headboard, above a desk, or as a feature behind a sofa, without covering an entire wall. Because you're using less material, they're also easier to test and generally easier to remove than a full wall covering. Again, check the product instructions and test a small area first, especially if you're dealing with delicate paint or an unusual wall finish. 3. Tension rods instead of drilled curtain rods. Curtains can make an apartment feel dramatically more finished, but you don't always need to drill into the wall to hang them. Tension rods are a simple option for suitable windows because they sit inside the window frame rather than requiring permanent mounting hardware. There are also no-drill curtain products that use adhesive or other mounting systems. Just pay attention to the weight rating. A tension rod that works perfectly for lightweight curtains might not be suitable for heavy blackout curtains. So check the product's specifications, make sure the surface is suitable, and don't overload it. 4. Use freestanding picture displays instead of a gallery wall. If you love the look of a gallery wall, but don't want to put lots of holes in your walls, consider a freestanding picture ledge, furniture-mounted display, or another removable display system. The advantage is that you can rearrange your artwork without constantly creating new mounting points. And if you do decide to use adhesive picture hooks or similar products, remember that removable doesn't mean guaranteed not to damage paint. Check the weight limit, follow the installation instructions, and test the product before covering an entire wall with photographs. 5. Peel and stick tiles for a backsplash. For kitchens and bathrooms, removable-looking tile products can create a surprisingly big design change. But this is one area where I'd be especially careful. Don't assume that every peel-and-stick tile is suitable for every rental surface, and don't automatically put another material underneath it to make removal easier. Instead, look for a product whose manufacturer specifically allows the type of removable installation you're planning. Check whether it's suitable for your wall or backsplash surface. Follow the installation instructions and test a small area first. I'd also be much more cautious about using adhesive tiles on floors, because flooring experiences far more wear and may have different requirements. The rule here is simple. The manufacturer's instructions matter more than a random internet hack. 6. Area rugs. This one is simple, but it can completely change how a room feels. An area rug can add colour, warmth, texture, and personality, while covering flooring you don't particularly love. And you don't need a drill, adhesive, or permanent installation. If you're putting a rug on hardwood, tile, or another hard surface, a suitable rug pad can help reduce movement and abrasion. Just make sure the pad is compatible with your particular flooring, because some materials can react poorly with certain finishes. It's one of the easiest ways to make a rental feel more like your own space, without changing the property itself. 7. Swap a light fixture, but only with the right permission. This is probably the most intimidating upgrade on the list. If your apartment has an ugly ceiling fixture, replacing it can make a huge difference. But unlike putting down a rug or adding a lamp, this one involves the property's electrical system. So don't treat this as a casual DIY project. First, check your lease and get any permission that's required. If the change is allowed, have the work carried out by a properly qualified professional, such as a licensed electrician where required by local rules. Keep the original fixture, screws, fittings, and any other parts somewhere safe. Then, when you move out, follow the lease and your landlord's instructions about whether the original fixture needs to be reinstalled. And don't assume that because you can physically change a fixture, you're automatically allowed to do it. This is the one upgrade on the list where checking first is especially important. 8. Warm lamps instead of relying on overhead lighting. If dealing with electrical fixtures isn't for you, here's the much easier alternative. Use lamps. A couple of warm-toned floor or table lamps can completely change the atmosphere of an apartment, especially in the evening. Instead of harsh overhead lighting, you can create different layers of light around the room. Try a floor lamp next to the sofa, a table lamp on a sideboard, or a small lamp on your desk. And because you're not modifying the property's wiring, it's one of the simplest ways to change the atmosphere without making a permanent alteration. 9. Swap the shower head. A weak shower head is one of those rental problems people often assume they just have to live with. For many standard threaded connections, changing the shower head is a relatively straightforward fixture swap. But check your lease first and make sure the replacement is compatible with your existing plumbing. And keep the original shower head somewhere safe. When you move out, you can reinstall it if your lease or landlord requires the original fixture to be returned. Also, don't over-tighten the connection. Follow the manufacturer's instructions, and if the installation isn't straightforward, don't force it. A small upgrade can make a surprisingly big difference to your daily routine. 10. Storage risers and furniture solutions instead of built-ins. Built-in storage can be fantastic, but drilling shelves and cabinets into rental walls isn't always an option. Instead, use furniture and freestanding storage to create the same functionality. Bed risers can create additional space underneath a bed. Freestanding closet organizers can add storage without attaching anything to the wall. Stacking shelves, cube storage, rolling carts, and slim shelving units can also turn awkward spaces into useful storage. And the best part? When you move, you take the whole thing with you. That's exactly what we're looking for with a renter-friendly upgrade. Something that improves your apartment without permanently becoming part of the property. A quick gut check before you start. Before installing any of these upgrades, ask yourself 3 questions. First, does my lease allow this? Second, is this product actually designed to be removable from my particular surface? And third, can I return the property to its original condition when I move out? Be particularly careful with strong adhesives in bathrooms, kitchens, and areas exposed to heat or direct sunlight. Moisture and heat can change how some adhesives behave, and something that removes easily in one room might not behave the same way somewhere else. And take photos before you make changes. Having a record of what the apartment looked like when you moved in can be useful when you're documenting the condition of the property later. Most importantly, don't assume that renter-friendly means guaranteed damage-free. Every wall, paint finish, floor, adhesive, fixture, and lease can be different. The safest upgrades are the ones you can remove carefully without leaving permanent changes behind. Because the goal isn't to make your rental look temporary, it's to make it feel like home without turning your move-out day into a negotiation. And if you're decorating your first apartment, start with the upgrades that are easiest to reverse. Keep the original fixtures and hardware somewhere safe, and always check your lease before changing anything attached to the property.